The night sky offers so many beautiful sights. I remember a few years ago, back in 2015, we lovers of heavenly things were treated to a rare spectacle. It was the night of the supermoon, that marvelous coincidence of a full moon occurring at the same time the moon is closest to the earth. So we saw the moon both full and much larger than usual. That itself is a rare treat. But combined with that was that awesome phenomenon known as a full eclipse, when the sun, the earth, and the moon are lined up exactly, with the earth in the middle, so that the earth's shadow completely blocks the sunlight from lighting up the moon. Another rare occurrence. But to have all of this staged at the same time was a feat of showmanship to be remembered for many years to come. If you missed it, don't worry. You can see it again in 2033. The valley was rather cloudy that night. Besides that, the buildings, the lights, and the everyday smog around here make for less than ideal conditions for stargazing or moon-gazing. Since I have serious doubts that I will still be around in 2033, I was determined not to miss it this time. So I drove far out into the desert that evening and was able to find the best seat in the house, front row center in the magnificent historical theater known as God's creation. Before my eyes was the moon in all her glory, bigger and brighter than I had seen her in a long time. That was a marvelous pre-show in itself, and I watched it with much pleasure for a long time. But then the real show began. The eclipse started, and as the earth's shadow passed in front of the moon, it looked like a child was biting into a cookie. The child seemed to grow hungrier and hungrier, and the bite became bigger and bigger before my eyes until there was only a slim, fingernail-shaped crescent left. Then suddenly that was gone too, and there was nothing left of the moon. She had been consumed, and there was only darkness left. It struck me that it was our shadow, the shadow of our earth, that had consumed the moon and made her disappear. And I was in awe, realizing that my own shadow had contributed a tiny bit to the disappearance of the mighty moon. Just when I thought the performance was over, I was treated to a breathtaking encore and realized to my surprise that the best part had been saved for last. In an amazing burst of new light, a spectacular crown of flaming red suddenly framed the dark circle that was the moon, and then in the next instant the whole face of the moon, veiled as it was in a shadow, became bathed in dazzling red. No wonder they call this the blood moon. No wonder, too, that the Mayas and the Incas believed that an eclipse happened when a jaguar had eaten the moon, leaving only the stains of blood. It seems that the sunlight does indeed still reach the moon, but refracted now through the earth's shadow, so that it appears red in the same way the light of a sunset does. Whatever the mythological or scientific explanation, it is wonderfully beautiful to the human eye. Like the moon, we too allow so many things to eclipse us. How often do we allow the distractions of money or pleasure to overshadow us to the point where we no longer can reflect that brilliant divine light we were born to receive? How often can such trivial things as the pursuit of wealth take little bites out of our being until they consume us entirely and there is nothing left of what was once a beautiful human being filled with hopes and ideals? Wealth is a fleeting shadow at best, and that shadow is indeed in constant competition with the eternal light that is God. There is no light in the eye of the needle through which the camel tries to pass. Yet even when we find that we have allowed our real selves to be totally eclipsed by trivial things that do not matter, even when that last bite has been taken out of us by that Jaguar, or that Mercedes, or that house, or that portfolio of stocks, even at that moment when the last ray of light has been blocked, and what was once a radiant human soul disappears entirely from view, even then the eternal light can find its way back, piercing heaven and earth, cutting through whole worlds and whole lives, using the very shadows themselves to refract it even more brilliantly, to re-illumine in a dazzling new magnificence the hidden human soul. There is no eclipse so total that we are lost to the eye of God. There is no shadow that does not reveal a new and more brilliant light. For those who are at home in the world of the things below, the world of camels and their needles, the world of humans and trivial pursuits, there is so much that seems impossible. But in the world of the heavens, the world of moons and suns, stargazers and dreamers, mysterious shadows and strange, wonderful lights, all things are possible for God.